Okay, everyone, I just want to give a quick video lecture on the amines package with conflict type. Now, you might be asking, why has this changed? Well, that's the great thing about our studios. They're always developing these packages. So you might have seen in the Titanic lecture, we're going to use amines is a great way to do pairwise tests. And just if you're wondering, if you look here, you go to Tools, Global Options, and Appearance. I'm in Dracula. I decided, well, I like this whole Dracula thing, and I watch horror movies, so I like the Dracula background. You can choose any of these that you like. So that's why it's not the boring white anymore, in case you are wondering. So really interesting, really easy here. I already did it. The lamentable deaths, we already talked about this, but we can use it with the amines. Now remember, I already have it out I already installed it. So all you have to do really is, if you remember, I'm not going to do this, but install packages. Amines, right? Oops. It's actually double M, not E. And then boom, you hit it. But I already have it, so I'm not going to hit it again. So I have to get it out of the library. Once you do it, remember, no quotes after you get a package out of the library. See, there it goes. Just the 3-letter words, 3 or 4 should pop up. Boom. So let's do it. We're going to do amines. There's the function, right? We called it lamentable deaths, comma, pairwise. What pops up when you do pairwise? T tilde, and then what are we doing? Conflict type. Where is it? There it is. Very easy. Boom, and we have it. So you're seeing the exact same thing that kind of showed up in the original, but this time we're going to compare, right? So if you remember here, my little pen out, you remember here, this is interstate and internationalized, right? Compared to internal, because these are in alphabetical order. So we're just going to see, okay, are these all statistically significant? Wow, and they are. So here we got it. So the type of conflict matters. So this is internal. An internal type of conflict yields less deaths, because this is it, and this is it, right? Compared to internationalized. Remember, as I said with the Titanic, this is eternal, so this is the first one that goes here. You can do it with so many different data sets. Then you've got internal to interstate. Again, internal, lower. So we're seeing eternal is pretty low. But then we do internationalized versus interstate. That's actually lower, and that's statistically significant. So it looks like interstate is the war between states that yields the most casualties, which isn't, even though there's fewer of them, what's interesting about it is that those are state wars. So they're going to be horrific, more so than, say, an internal conflict where, you even look at, say, for example, Great Britain and the IRA, how many people were really killed in that time? Not as many as you think, or the Bass, or even the Colombia guerrilla war, which we're going to do. There were many victims, but not as many as, say, World War II. What's going on now in the Ukraine is absolutely massive. So you start looking at the damage done, these interstate conflicts are more. So what does this have to do with anything? I'm going to end here. This is exactly what artificial intelligence does, right? This is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, like Gotham, is going to grab this data set and start running it. Now, a lot of people will say, well, then why do we need to run this if we have other, types of artificial intelligence, and you can actually put it in different things? Like there's one, I did a regression analysis, and I stuck it in there. I forget the one. It's actually from Dubai, I believe, but it's a pretty good one for statistical analysis. I'll put them up as supplemental. The question is, why do I need these? Well, you do need it because when it starts spitting out the results, you have to understand what it means. For us to make proper decisions in national security policy, you still have to understand what's a large N data set. What's an independent dependent variable? What's this p-value mean? And there's a lot of debate. We don't have time in this class because these courses go by quickly, but there's a lot of debate. Should we rely more on the t-value? Should we do the t ratio? Should we rely more on visual, the ggplot that generates visual graphs and plots, etc., where visually we can learn more than the actual data here? These are all debates within the statistical world. So it's not that easy for Gotham just to say this is how it is, or some kind of, Jack GPT to spit something out. You have to have the people with the knowledge behind all of these things. And you don't have to be necessarily a data scientist, a mathematician writing algorithms, or an engineer. We need people who actually understand the basics of these statistics. And this is a means function. Look at how quick we did it. They're like, oh, we do it so quickly, but we just did this pretty quickly. So that's what I wanted to show you, was the means, show you what this basically does, and to understand the type of conflict that is yielding the most destruction, here measured in casualties. That would be amazing to get a data set, not just casualties, but the amount of arable land ruined, things like that. But this is exactly what AI is collecting. Take care, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the show.